Good morning, Columbus.
Joe, that ain't good enough. Come on, Joe.
Wake up! Stop this one!
Frizzle left tight, F fly, pass 37 punch, waggle, help, baby dizzy, X fan on the turbo.
Thank you, baby.
Football, man.
It's time to listen to a bald, fat loudmouth
Mr. T-Bone.
and a former football player.
And that ball intercepted by Tyvis pal.
Wow, no radio station has ever done that before.
Did it work for those people?
No, it never does. But it might work for us.
Welcome to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Welcome in. Hope your Wednesday is off to a good start. I'm T-Bone. He's Tyvis. Good morning, Tyvis.
Oh, good morning.
We didn't plan this. We didn't discuss it. But both of us today are wearing jerseys for some reason. You're wearing a Lakers Wilt Chamberlain jersey.
Yes.
Why are you wearing a Lakers Wilt Chamberlain jersey?
Well, one, I like the jersey. You know, I thought the Lakers colors are very iconic. When I was going to pick out a jersey, a Laker jersey, I already got a Kobe Bryant. I got a purple 8 Kobe Bryant jersey. But I really made a mistake. I should have gotten Magic Johnson over Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
But Wilt, the reason I went with Wilt is because Wilt was the man off the court as well.
Well, I was just going to ask you, do you feel like you relate to his game off the court or on the court? Remember, I didn't know.
I mean, Magic had almost too much game off the court.
Well, there was that. That got him into trouble, right?
Well,
yeah.
But the rumor is Wilt, he scored a lot on the court, but he scored 10,000 off the court.
Yeah, that's what we've heard. Yes, that's.
Well, in my opinion, Wilt Chamberlain's legacy on and off the court are built off of exaggerated details because there's no footage of his 100-point game.
I agree with that.
And that's a lot of women. I don't think that's possible to get to that number. Like, if you just do the
insane.
math, like that's a tough number to get to.
I feel like if he had been actually able to do that and have 10,000 partners or more at some point, like the man would have just been, it'd be all these, they would have given him a nickname back in the day. They would have been like Itchy Wilt Chamberlain out there because he just would be like, he's scratching himself all the time. And it's like, yeah, I bet he is. I mean, I'm just saying, how did the man avoid any of the pitfalls of that type of lifestyle is all I'm saying. That'd be a problem, I would think, for your game and for otherwise. That would just be tough. So, yeah, so you got your Wilt jersey on. Mm-hmm. I am wearing the pride of Birmingham, not Alabama, the UK, Aston Villa. And we have to dedicate the program today to 2 people because I feel bad we didn't mention one of them yesterday. Mm-hmm. We lost one of the great actors of at least my childhood and one of the, just great television shows that ever existed. Sadly, the guy it's named after has kind of ruined our ability to go back and rewatch it as much. But Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away. He was otherwise known as Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show. We know Bill Cosby, dirtbag, scumbag, all those things are accurate and valid, and I get why people, don't put that show on TV anymore. Kind of a tough watch. But for those of us who grew up watching that show, I will say that Theo Huxtable, a.k.a. Malcolm Jamal Warner, was one of those guys that he made that show great because there were so many scenes where Bill Cosby, again, noted dirtbag and terrible human, but also at the time when we didn't know that, he was one of the greatest comedians ever, and he was well established in that regard. He comes onto a TV show named after him, and he carried a lot of scenes, but he would have moments with him and Malcolm Jamal Warner, and Malcolm Jamal Warner was 16, 17 years old when he started on that show, and he would hold his own with a guy who was at the time a comedy icon.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I think he was an underrated actor, but sadly he passed away at the age of, was it 54? On vacation. They said he drowned, which is just, so that was a very sad story there. And I felt awful when I read that yesterday, and I felt bad that we didn't bring it up yesterday. So that was a sad story. And then yesterday afternoon, I got a gut punch that one of the icons of metal, Ozzy Osbourne, passed away at the age of 76 from a battle of Parkinson's. Just 2 weeks ago, he had his farewell concert where he played with the members of Black Sabbath one last time. He was sitting in a chair. He couldn't, get up and move around. But
I can't remember, was it on this show or did I was out on the Cleveland show? I was on some show and we was just talking about Ozzy Osbourne.
You were? It wasn't with me, I don't think.
Then that must have been the Cleveland show.
What were you guys talking
Just
about?
the wild, insane stuff. Yeah, it was the Cleveland show because we were doing, one of our producers was comparing players to bands and things like that. And he had came up and he was just talking about just some of the stuff he did, like the wild stuff.
Oh, Ozzy Osbourne?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of, some of that stuff. It's the same thing as Wilt Chamberlain, I think, a little bit, where some of it was probably exaggerated. I remember as a kid, the legend of Ozzy Osbourne, as a kid growing up, very religious, very like, we weren't supposed to listen to any of that devil music.
I was scared of it.
Well, that's right.
I was scared. I remember when he was on Little Nicky. You ever seen Little Nicky?
Yes, of course.
You can do it, Ozzy. Bite his freaking head off. He bites
and that goes from a story where someone threw a dead bird on the stage, or different tellings of it went different ways. At one point, it was a dead bat. Then it became a dead bird. Then it became he grabbed a bird out of the air and bit its head off and threw it in the crowd and drank its blood. And it's like, I don't think it went quite like that. I think if anything, it was like someone threw a dead bird up on stage and he was just like, oh, yeah, you think I'm scared of that? Blah, and then that was it. It was, rock and roll stuff. But no, truly, from a musical standpoint, like Black Sabbath, for those who don't understand the genre of metal, Black Sabbath is like the foundational. They say all pop music comes from the Beatles. A lot of metal comes from Black Sabbath, like stuff they established.
That dark stuff.
They kind of started it.
So you still listen to Ozzy?
I was listening to him this morning on the way in.
Well,
yeah,
in honor of
Bark at the Moon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, but Crazy Train has such staying power too, because do you remember the noted great musician Trick Daddy with his that start of the song where it's like, you know what I mean, where with the little guitar with and the that's Ozzy. That's a sample of Crazy Train. The whole song's based off Crazy Train. Him and Lil Jon.
Shout out to Trick Daddy.
Oh yeah. That was one of my gym songs. Get hyped up. You can see how well it worked for me, but like I'm just saying, that was one that got me going on the elliptical. Yeah.
Have you seen Trick Daddy lately?
No. Is he not push a T, pushing 300? Is that what he's doing? What's he doing?
He doesn't look healthy.
Oh no. Okay.
Look healthy.
I'm gonna look him up now. I don't know what he's doing.
Looks like he might need to hit the gym a little bit.
Well, then he and I are in the same boat. That's good. Oh, I see him now. Yeah, he's on my plan. That's good. I will just say, so we dedicate the program to both Malcolm Jamal Warner and Ozzy Osbourne, but I wore this Aston Villa jersey because that is Ozzy's favorite soccer team. He's from Birmingham. This team is from Birmingham. He was involved in not this jersey, but the one they had last year. He was involved in the rollout of that because it's his favorite soccer team. So we honor the legends today.
Yes, we do.
We also have to talk about something that I saw late last night as I was just about to go to bed, and then I've seen conflicting reports today about it. There are rumors out there that Columbus could be getting a professional football team. We could be getting a UFL team. That is the rumor from last night.
So what you're saying is it's time for me to make a comeback.
Well,
I went out there with them kids last Saturday, still had it. You mean tell me it's time to go out and display to the world?
I heard that's why they're coming back.
Yeah, they heard the show was going so well. They were like, you know what? We want to get him off the radio and back on the football field. They want to rip you away from me.
I'd still do the radio.
I know you would. You'd be the Doug Gottlieb of the UFL.
Be like, all right, y'all, I got to go to practice.
The UFL team can't start practice till 9:30 because you're busy in here. We're like playing Tyvis Eats a Thing. They'd be like, sorry, guys, we can't do the meeting yet. Tyvis is busy right now. That guy, by the way, the singer of that song, nowhere close to Ozzy Osbourne. So we will talk about the possibility of getting a UFL team and what really matters with that, which is What would we call the damn thing, and what are the colors going to be? That's next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Van.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good Wednesday morning. Well, we are noticing a new disabled vehicle for folks over in Grandview this morning. This is happening on 670 eastbound, right at Neal Avenue. A right shoulder is currently blocked right now. Police are on scene working to clear up the situation here. Again, it is a disabled vehicle. Nothing too concerning this morning. Definitely not impacting your drive times. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Rates as low as 5.54% APR and a $400 cash bonus when you refinance your auto loan with BMI Federal Credit Union. Visit bmifcu.org/refinance.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My toilet's clogged, backed up too. The sink is running slow. Water's backed up everywhere. Oh, please don't overflow.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get it Wi-Fi.
Yes, we need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Reds fans' Grammy Award-winning band Train is coming to Great American Ballpark on August 13th as part of the Ohio Lottery post-game concert series. Cheer on your Reds as they close out the series against the Phillies and stick around after the game for a live set from Train. Plus, you can upgrade your access to a pit field pass for an up-close view of Train. For tickets and more information, visit reds.com/concerts.
We at The Fan have created a show where you can be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Your family may not listen to you, but we will. Sundays at 11, it's The Fan Call-In Show presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus. You're welcome.
AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio is your Medicaid plan for more benefits, more rewards. We know that good health means more than just seeing a doctor when you're sick. Eligible members can receive extras like home-delivered meals and family essentials, like baby carriers and kids' school supplies. Members can even earn rewards for playing mobile health trivia games. Learn more at AmeriHealthCaritasoh.com and call the Ohio Medicaid Consumer Hotline at 1-800-324-8680 to choose AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio.
Friday, July 25th is Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair. Visit the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, the Department of Insurance, and other state agency booths. Come learn about mental health resources available to you and to your family. Join us on Friday, July 25th for Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair.
Fan and weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Another refreshing start for us with our wake-up temperatures in the low 60s and clear skies, giving way to lots of sunshine as we kick off the state fair, and afternoon highs in the low 90s. For tonight, skies will be mostly clearer, and overnight temperatures will be down into the low 70s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
T-Bone and Tyvis is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
One of these guys still believes he can play in the NFL. It's T-Bone. He says it's because of his low center of gravity. He's dumb. This is Bone and Tyvis.
Good news for you then, huh? That's a perfect rejoin.
I didn't say anything about going to the UFL, but now, I mean, maybe you and I both will try to make our way over there.
You can take the show on the road.
They need a what technique would I be of a nose tackle? Is there a technique?
You don't want to be a zero? You don't want to be right over the center?
Zero. That's a zero. Okay.
Right over the center.
Yeah. Call me Agent Zero. I'm right there. Gilbert Arenas. Right? That was his nickname, wasn't it? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, Agent Zero.
Yeah, okay. I'm not wrong. I usually am, so that's why I always doubt myself.
I feel like Gilbert Arenas was the person, you know how we are enamored how Steph Curry and Dame Lillard shoot from the logo. You know, Gilbert was the first. One of the first people to
Oh, yeah.
And we talk about the Steph Curry shooting it and turning around. He used to do that. He did that same thing.
Yeah, sure did. And then he brought a gun into the locker room.
That was his demise. That was his demise.
That was the end of all that.
Actually, the beginning and the end for him was constantly getting matched up with a young GOAT at the time, and LeBron. He was never getting out of the first round because they just kept getting matched up with the Cavs over and over again.
Do you remember Deshaun Stevenson?
I do.
He used to hit him with the...
He would get right up in his face. Well, Deshaun Stevenson was the one who was like staring at him, right, for the Pacers, with staring in his ear.
He was with the Wizards.
Oh, no, I'm thinking, I'm thinking of someone else.
You're thinking of Lance Stevenson, not Deshaun. I was going to say, Tyvis
Deshaun Stevenson. I totally forgot about him then.
Tyvis said that Gilbert Arenas was Steph before Steph was Steph. Deshaun Stevenson was Lance Stevenson. Lance Stevenson was Lance Stevenson.
And then we end up stealing Antoine Jameson from him.
Oh, man. There's a pool, too. All right, so the UFL. This is the last 24 hours. This guy, James Larson, who is I was not aware of until just yesterday, honestly, because I don't really follow the UFL. I don't care about it. However, if we get a team here, I care about it because it's Columbus and I'm in. But James Larson was the guy who posted something yesterday. He said, sources, the 4 new UFL markets will be Boise, Columbus, Florida, likely Orlando, and Kentucky. And he said Louisville or Lexington. Blockbuster moves to be announced by the league over the coming weeks. So this is not done. This is not official. This is not an announcement from the UFL. He said in a previous tweet, major changes are coming to the UFL. USFL markets, which, of course, the UFL is like a kind of a rebirth of some of those markets. He said that the markets in Michigan, Houston, Birmingham, and Memphis are all being relocated for the 2026 season. Now, one, I don't usually like to steal other people's teams. However, my addendum to that is, since it's the UFL and it's barely a league anyway, who effing cares?
Wow.
Like that's how I'm with that. It's like they didn't have enough of a fan base for it to even matter.
Wow.
It's not like Save the Crew where it's like the league had been around for 20 years and we had fans.
Well, and Columbus is going to save it. This is like they don't have a pro team. Well, this is, I don't. This is the thing. This is the thing about the UFL. It's like the minors for baseball. It's like we got the Clippers here, so you see a bunch of Clippers players, you watch them, and then boom, they go to the Guardians, and all right, there it is. Same thing can happen when you look at a UFL team. Not all of them are going to go, but there'll probably be a handful of guys that go get NFL shots after that. I mean, every year we see guys from the UFL that makes play. Damian Arnett just did it.
Damian Arnett, yeah.
He just was in the UFL, and now he's with the Texans, I think he said.
I think you're right. Yeah, he had a great year. This was his rebirth to get back in the league.
And I think that the only reason the UFL is deciding Columbus is because
Well, you know why.
I mean, yeah, we know why.
It's right up the road.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the team that's all out at Big Ten Media Days. It's Ohio State.
And it's in between two fan bases.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It won't obviously replace the NFL. But
not at all.
I know.
They play when the NFL is done, I believe.
Yeah. I will say this. I think that they did, when they launched this, I don't know, because didn't they start out with the XFL and then the UFL and then they
it was the USFL and the XFL.
Yeah, that's right. And they merged the two.
My boy Cardell was in the XFL.
That's right. Here's what I always thought with both of those, because they both kind of went about it different ways, but in similar ways. There was a big push, at least in the XFL, I feel like, to try to be somewhat in NFL markets and use NFL stadiums, which I always thought that's a joke. Because if you go to an NFL stadium and let's say you draw 20,000 fans a game for that product, spring football with non-NFL players mostly, 20,000 fans a game is really damn good.
Yeah.
But if you put that in a stadium that holds 60,000, the TV cameras look pathetic. The optics of it look like no one's at this game.
It does.
It's comparing it to the NFL, which you don't want. Mm-hmm. It needs to be its own separate thing. If you, for this, bring this team to Columbus, which is supposably what's going to happen.
Now I'm playing at the shoe.
Oh, I saw people saying that. They're like, put them in the shoe. And it's like,
no.
Why? No. One, I don't know if you know how much Ohio State charges for use of the horseshoe. It is not cheap. And I don't think the UFL's budget, that would make any sense. But why would you want them compared to that? Why would you want people to look at that and go, oh, look, if this team draws 25,000 people, which is possible in this market, I believe, if you market it right and if you get former Buckeyes and you kind of do it the right way, this could absolutely be a good thing for the city. But if you put it in Ohio Stadium, go ahead and just light this team on fire, because it will last 2-3 years and they will move it again. You have to put it in a stadium that makes sense. And to me, the stadium that makes sense is not Lower.com Field. Sorry, that's the Cruise Stadium. It's got real grass in it. And it's not Fortress Obetz, which that I don't even know why we built that. We had a perfectly fine racetrack. We should have left it alone. Columbus Motor Speedway. Where it needs to go is historic Crew Stadium. They have turf installed there. It is the perfect size for a UFL team.
They plan on turf. I ain't coming back.
They probably will play on turf. But I'm not. You know me. I'm not a fan of turf. But what I'm saying is, it's ready-made for a UFL team. Low maintenance from the field standpoint. It's going to save you money there. You can go to a place where people are used to going. For those who never went to a Crew game at the old Crew Stadium, historic Crew Stadium, it is perfect for tailgating, which is what you need. If you're going to have football, people like to tailgate. So it's got that going for it. Like, that to me makes the most sense. I actually think the UFL could be a really fun thing in the spring here. When people are like looking for something to do, you can go and watch some football, and it's not going to be like high stakes and it's not going to be super stressful, but you can just go out and have fun and watch a team play, hopefully with some former Buckeyes on it, hopefully with some names you remember. And then they
would have to do that.
I mean, that's the way to go in my mind, but I think it could be a great thing.
If I'm willing to lose a good 30 pounds.
And you need them to install natural grass as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'm like Messi. I ain't playing on no turf. if you play me on turf, I'm telling you right now, I'm good for 1 quarter.
We have just found the one and only reason we could compare Tyvis Powell to Lionel Messi.
Listen, you know how...
You're not even an Adidas guy. You're a Nike guy.
You remember how Tobey Maguire got bit by a spider?
I do.
Well, I got bit by a goat.
Oh,
LeBron bit you?
Yeah.
No. You mean Michael Jordan, right?
I thought it was Giannis.
It is Giannis, but Giannis been on some other stuff lately. He's fallen. He's really about to fall off my list.
So right now, if you go to at T-Bone and at Bone and Tyvis 971 on Twitter, there's a poll there. What should the new UFL team be called? Because one, I don't want anybody's used goods here. I don't want to have someone else's name where it's because Birmingham's one of the teams and Houston's one of the teams I think that's moving the Michigan franchise. Like, I don't want any of that. I want us to have our own name and I want to have our own colors picked out. And I have a few thoughts on this, if you'll let me. Okay. the options that are on the poll right now, we had the Columbus Destroyers, which were the Arena League team.
Okay.
The Glory, which was the former United Football League or was it the United Football League? Back in the 90s, we had an outdoor team that played in Ohio Stadium called the Ohio Glory. Like it wasn't arena football. It was real football is what I would call that. So the Ohio Glory is one. The Columbus Panhandles is another option we have on the poll. The Panhandles, little known fact, the first NFL game ever involved the Dayton Triangles. It was played in Dayton.
The
Dayton Triangles and the Columbus Panhandles. That was the first NFL game ever, was a Columbus football team. It was made up of guys who worked for the railroad, and apparently there was a thing called the Panhandle Station or something. I don't know if that was the name of it because of a location, or maybe there was a lever they had to pull there shaped like a panhandle. But the Panhandles is a team that is historic and highlights our NFL roots. So there's that. Or you can also vote for something else and then leave a comment of it. So tell us what other names you would like for that. But at Bone and Tyvis 971, what should the new Columbus UFL franchise be called if we get one?
Go Pans.
According to Wikipedia, the Ohio Glory were a professional American football team in the World League of American Football, playing only in the 1992 season.
That's right. It was the World League. You're right. I'm wrong.
Columbus Glory.
Which was another, I feel like that was a precursor to NFL Europe. I could be wrong on that, but NFL Europe was where they took basically they put teams in Europe that had some loose affiliation with the NFL. I think the World Football League was a part of a league that was something like that before NFL Europe really got going, but kind of like how there were two leagues with the WNBA and the other women's professional league that started, and Columbus had a team in the other league. We had the Quest. Katie Smith was on that team. But yeah, I'm telling you, I want Glory or Panhandles. I don't want Destroyers. I think Destroyers, I'm not a big fan of the name. Also, color-wise.
Oh, that's big.
Let's not do red, white, and blue. Jackets already got that one.
Okay.
We're not doing scarlet and gray. Buckeyes have that.
Okay.
Don't need black and gold because that's the crew. We need to come up with something else.
Black and red.
Okay. I could be open to that. That's fine. I could go with something like this color scheme. This Aston Villa jersey's got a teal, like a Carolina blue, and then a maroon. I could go with something like that. Why not?
It's blue.
What's wrong with that? It's not navy blue.
It's blue.
The jackets are blue. Get over it.
It's blue.
Stupid. We're not talking about the Buckeyes wearing it.
Blue.
By the way, the Buckeyes, the marching band, OSU marching band wears navy blue uniforms. Get over it.
It's blue though.
It's blue. I'm just saying. We can blue's fine.
I despise
blue is my color.
You ever know I despise the color blue?
Yeah. Right now, I despise your face. You're just being obstinate for no reason.
Well, guess what? I would despise yours tomorrow at about 8:45.
Yeah, tomorrow, the great shaving of bone commences at 8:45 here on the air. We're bringing in a real barber to shave my face. You'll be able to watch it on the YouTube stream, all of that. Tomorrow. We'll have more details on that throughout the show.
And Common Man said we made the biggest mistakes of our life.
We did. I didn't think you'd hit the home run. That's why I put it on the line.
I should have just hit a single. Yeah. And we would have both been fine.
You don't know how right that is, honestly.
You also mentioned the Destroyers, and we're going to have a former Destroyers quarterback on the show.
That's right. Later today, 8:30, the quarterback room, we are going to have Justin Zwick on to talk about being in a quarterback battle. He knows something about that. Being a quarterback at Ohio State, we'll get into all that with him coming up at 8:30.
Hopefully he answers the phone.
Well, if he doesn't, he'll be dead to us. That's how that will go. That already happened with one former OSU quarterback. I don't want it to happen again. 2 minutes away, Curt Cignetti had things to say at Big Ten Media Day. You'll hear from him next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and welcome to your Wednesday. Well, major roads leading inside and outside the metro still looking pretty average this time around. I would say the most concern is going to be for our folks over on the west side, especially if you're taking 70 eastbound. Of course, we have that ongoing construction site just north of West Jefferson this morning, so looking at 62 miles per hour for your drive time. If you do live in Madison County and want to take 40 east instead, between 42 to 270, that will only take you 16 minutes. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Victor's Home Solutions. Schedule your free 21-point roof and window inspection today at victors.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Your neighborhood Kroger pharmacy is happy to welcome back Express Scripts Medicare D and TRICARE Department of Defense Plan members. It's easy to transfer prescriptions at Kroger.com/payer update. See your Kroger pharmacy for details.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
T-Bone and Tyvis is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Sign up today at awaken180weightloss.com.
Listen to that! Son of a... That's unbelievable! Oh my goodness! Holy smoke! Just incredible!
T-Bone and Tyvis present Clip That.
Sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com. Receive a 100% match when you deposit up to $400 with the Prime Sports Ohio app.
Earlier this offseason, Indiana head football coach Curt Cignetti, Coach Sigs, as the kids are saying, backed out of a series with the University of Virginia. They had a Power 4 conference, out-of-conference matchup scheduled in the future. They backed out of it. He was asked why did he choose to do that, and he, in response, chose violence with his answer.
Here's the bottom line, okay? We picked up an extra home game, and we play 9 conference games. You know, the 2 best conferences in college football, any football guy that's objective will tell you, is the Big Ten and the SEC. All right? 12 of the 16 SEC teams play 3 G5 or an FCS game. 12 of those teams play 36 games, 29 G5 games, and 7 FCS games, and 1 less conference game. All right? So we figured we'd just adopt SEC scheduling philosophy.
One, I can't remember. I had forgotten already because it's been a long offseason. I had forgotten about Curt Signetti's accent where it's like, we just adopted SEC philosophy. I don't know what to tell you. It's a little bit of a Pittsburgh accent, I think, is what he's kind of got there. But let him live, man. I think that's hilarious that he chose to go after the SEC. Good for him.
Oh, my goodness. He's one of those teams that I know a lot of people hate him, but I actually like the guy. I like a guy that's confident, that's got a little swag to him. You know what I'm saying? The Google Bee thing, like I can play for a guy like that. I understand why his players play so hard for him. Now, what needs to happen is bowl season comes around. They have to match him up with an SEC school. They have to.
Oh.
Like, you can't miss this layup. I'm pretty sure. I'm confident that he'll be able to. I don't know if he'll have quite the same success he had last year. Maybe he loses 3 games this year instead of just 1. Maybe that's the case. But, I'm sure they'll still have maybe an outside chance of getting in. And if they don't, I just want them to be bowl eligible so they can go up against the SEC school.
Yeah. I'm totally with you on that. It is something that has come up a bit, right, with this whole Big Ten, SEC, how are we going to do this? How's the scheduling going to be? Are we going to have automatic qualifiers with the SEC getting 4, Big Ten getting 4? Or are we going to go with just the conference champs and a bunch of at-large bids? It was very interesting yesterday at Media Day because the entire message from the Big Ten, from Tony Petitti on down to Ryan Day and even there with Curt Signetti, they're all basically saying, hey, if the SEC is not going to play 9 conference games, then we'll do what we want. And they are entrenched on tying that scheduling into the playoffs. That's a real thing that I think they're all kind of starting to go back on and trying to figure out how that's going to work out. But, yeah, I am just kind of looking at that whole thing and thinking Curt Cignetti is doing what more Big Ten coaches should be doing. He's going after the SEC. Why are we mad at that? I don't get why people hate that guy.
I don't know. I think
it's because they don't like cockiness.
On the other side of that, so I saw someone big from like On3 reply to the Curt Signetti clip and said, well, the SEC, like 6 of them have like the top 10 toughest schedule according to this analytic or whatever. And it's kind of like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Like,
yeah,
we don't know if the SEC schedule is that tough because we haven't seen anyone play games yet. So
no, it's all based off the perception that the SEC is tough and all these teams are going to be good, and therefore all their schedules are tough because they have 8 conference games, and if you're playing 8 games in the toughest division in the history of college football, then yeah, it must be these are tough schedules. But like, you go look at Wisconsin's schedule where they actually went out of conference to go play Alabama, and that seems like a tough game for them. I don't think they're going to win that game. Then you look at where Wisconsin has to go. They don't miss Ohio State. They don't miss Penn State. I don't think they miss Michigan. We just went over it yesterday. They play Oregon. They play Washington. Like, they have a tough schedule, Wisconsin does, objectively, because the Big Ten's actually going to be pretty decent. SEC is too, but to your point, Dylan, like, there's no way that we can for sure say every team, like there's 10 teams in the top 10 of toughest schedule. That's the top 10 is all SEC teams, and they're all playing each other. How do we know that that's accurate?
Yeah, and like, I don't know. And they'll argue, like, if you look at like the big time analytics guys in college football, like Kelly Steele or I feel like I'm mixing 2 guys together, but there's 2 main analytics guys that come out with polls, and a lot of SEC teams are in their top 30. So they're going to point to that and be like, hey, there are a lot of good teams in the SEC, and this is why you might see our 5th or 6th best team not have a great record, and it's because our conference is so deep. Like, that's going to be the argument that they always have.
I know it is. And I also, Tyvis, you've pointed this out, that they live off reputation.
Yeah. I mean, I know when I look at the SEC, I always think that there shouldn't be a top 25, like a preseason 25, because I think that is false. We don't know. Like I said, what Florida State start off 12 or something like that last year?
Yeah, they were pretty close to the top 10.
And you mean to tell me that whoever they lost to, I can't remember who they lost to in the first 2 weeks, like they're gonna say, oh, they have 2 victories against a top 25 opponent. No, they don't. They stink.
Yes, exactly right.
So, like, to me, then when we get to the end of the season and you're comparing resumes, oh, this team has 2 wins against ranked opponents. But if you look at the opponents, they're not ranked anymore. Like, I feel like that happens with some of the SEC. Don't get me wrong. The SEC is going to have about 5 or 6 teams that's going to be in the top 25. But outside of that, like, I don't know. To me, I just think that they get a pass for a lot of the stuff. And it's just like, at the end of the day, we need to wait till November to do any of these rankings anyway.
Yeah.
Kelly Ford and Ken Steele were the 2 names I was thinking of the analytics guys. But this is kind of weird coming from Curt Signetti that arguably the only reason why he made the playoff last year was because of how weak Indiana's schedule was.
Oh, I know. I mean, that's fair too. And I said I don't know why people hate this guy. I do. Because he talks like he's won something other than having a good year at Indiana. It was a surprising year for sure. But I think when you go out and get kind of destroyed in your actual, college football playoff game, which was a major accomplishment even getting there. No one doubts that. But it's going to tell the tale in years 3, 4, 5 if he's there that long. And I assume he will be. But he brought over a ton of guys who knew how to play the style he wanted from JMU, who was a really good team that he had built with a bunch of 5th-year guys and COVID guys and dudes who had all this eligibility. Grown men, essentially, he brought in. And they played well. Now he has to build Indiana. And that has been historically a very tough task. So we'll find out if he can do it. But on your point about not having a top 25, Tyvis, I have been saying that for years. I'm so glad you feel that way too. I feel like one of the things we do in college football that makes no sense is every year, if you had a financial guy that you went to and said, help me pick out some investments because I want to save. And this year I want to know what the best stocks are. You tell me where to put my money in 2025. And that guy was like, don't worry, I got you. Here are the top 25 stocks we've got, right? And you put your money into it. And by the end of it, half those things were like, not just like not good. Born losers that lost you a bunch of money, and the other ones were just like obvious ones, like invest in Apple, which you could have figured out on your own. You would say next year, you're going to go back to that same guy and say, now pick another 25 stocks and tell me which ones are good. That guy has proven he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I look at him like he's crazy.
We do that with college football all the time where it's like, hey, media guys, pick the top 25, and they get, oh, hey, I think Penn State will be good this year. Well, no kidding, because they've got everybody coming back, and if they're not good, then James Franklin should be fired. Do we need the AP to tell us that, or can we all figure that out on our own? Ohio State, Texas, probably going to be good. We got it. But when they go off with, like, Florida State last year, we just go, well, you get them wrong sometimes. Let's go back to them and ask them again. And right now, they've got all these teams in there. Texas A&M, yet again, is predicted to be decent this year for the 100th time in 100 years. And yet every year they fall flat on their face. And next year, what will happen? They'll run right back to Texas A&M and say, I tell you what, that's top 10 team. They're really good. Sure. Until they aren't, because they never get this right. And I just don't know I don't know why we do this to start the season every year when we know they're wrong about half the teams. And the other half are the ones that are obvious that anybody could have picked, not just the AP. So
I think the reason why we keep the polls now is like, okay, when Ohio State plays Texas, we're going to be like, wow, this is 1 versus 2 or 2 versus 3. This is a big matchup. Whoa. And without those numbers beside them, it's like we're not smart enough to know that that's a big, important game without those numbers next to the team's names.
You're exactly right. And by the way, the other reason it exists, I fully acknowledge, is because of shows like this. The media that exists now is us arguing about things like they're ranked too high, they're ranked too low. Everything we've done. What have we done all this offseason? What does like the blogosphere of sports do when there's no football going on? They rank the greatest players, the greatest games, the greatest wide receivers, the greatest everything. Like, we love to rank. And so that's where I think when it's time to actually look at the teams, we rank them because there's no conferences like in the NFL. There's Big Ten and SEC, but you don't have the AFC North, the AFC South, and all the different schedules that allow those teams to play each other. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about rankings in the NFL. You're going to have a pretty balanced schedule. Everyone's going to kind of play everyone, or at least a good cross-section of the NFL is going to play each other. And then you have a real playoff system that actually determines a winner, unlike what you have in college football right now. Other than the 12-team playoff is good, but when you have teams that have played no one and they get in based on reputation.
They should have left it. They should have went to 8 and never touched it again.
Yeah, that's right. All right, we have more audio for you. Jimmy Haslam says the new stadium that the Browns are building will be great for Columbus fans specifically, Browns fans in Columbus. He says he's doing this for you. I'll tell you what he said next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Well, we are noticing a really big crash happening just west of Linden this morning and north of the downtown scene. 71 southbound just past Hudson Street. We do have a left lane blocked right now. Drive time's not looking good at 7 miles per hour. Definitely noticing crews still on scene. Really trying to clean up the situation here. But again, lots of congestion this morning. If you can take Silver Drive or Cleveland Avenue instead, heading into the downtown scene, take those detours just in case. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
Factory direct is really pretty simple. The factory sells it directly to the consumer. I mean, we build it. There's nothing that anybody else does. We have stations where everybody touches the window. Everyone sees what's going on. So if there's an issue, we catch it as it's going down the line. That's probably the biggest thing, is the ability to make sure what goes out the door is what I want to go out the door.
Visit Rizzotti Windows and get 35% off all windows and doors by July 31st.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Hey, it's Anthony. I actually enjoy the off-season. Gives me a chance to be really active, travel, be on the move. But when my back started giving me pain, I wasn't going to just deal with it this time. I went to the Good Feet store. Their personally fit arch supports got my feet into their ideal alignment, and I could already feel the difference in my back immediately. And they educated me. I had no clue. We actually have several arches under our feet, and those cushy over-the-counter insoles were not going to do the trick. So many people suffering with pain can benefit from their system. People with pain in their feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, hips, and more. I've been wearing my personally fit arch supports for a while now, and they've given me the motivation and confidence to be as active as I want to be. The Good Feet store thrives on being solution-oriented. Go in. The fitting is free. They want you to try them in the store and feel them for yourself. So get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City and on Polaris Parkway. Or check them out at goodfeet.com.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Nationwide Picnic with the Pops presents the Pride of the Buckeyes, the Ohio State University Marching Band. Don your scarlet and gray and join the Columbus Symphony Orchestra for a night of fight songs, battle cries, fireworks, and more. July 25th and 26th at the Columbus Commons. Visit picnicwiththepops.com.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
In terms of the Waffle House menu, Tyvis covered and smothered his opponents. Meanwhile, T-Bone is a chunk of hash who's often covered in gravy. I'm not sure what that means either. This is T-Bone and Tyvis.
You know, we were talking about ranking top 25 preseason college football, why it's kind of we know why it exists, but it's also kind of pointless because we really don't know these teams as well as we should. I actually wish we had something, instead of having the top 25, like just the ones we think are the best, I think sometimes it is what actually they're doing on Bishop and Friends, the most interesting, because there's a lot of times where I feel like teams get put in there because some of the voters and some of the people in the AP just say, well, this team's interesting, so yeah, we'll put them at 15 because we think they've got a lot of potential. But on Bishop and Friends, they are doing their 20 most interesting programs, which I prefer way more to the preseason top 25 stuff. Today, they're going to talk to Zach Anderson from the Locked On UCLA podcast. They're going to talk about UCLA. That's a very interesting program with Nico Iamaleava there, so you can hear them discuss that at 11:30. But I've enjoyed listening when they talk about their most interesting programs on Bishop and Friends. It's good.
I got to turn my mic on.
That's all right.
Oh, yeah. Actually, every time they come here and we talk to them and crosstalk and we ask them, who they're talking about, they always do pick a really good, intriguing school. I know they did SMU last year. Bo has a thing for the ponies.
Oh, yeah.
I love listening to that segment. Texas Tech, Clemson, all of those. Like, they're picking some really good schools that I'm like, I can see it. They're definitely going to be a team that I keep my eye on this year to see how they do. The Texas Tech thing, though, I need to see it. Didn't they get the #1 portal or something like that?
I think, yes, they or they're up there now. Yeah, they got the #1 portal. You're
and then
right.
I think they up there in the recruiting class for next year.
What's the dude? Is it Ojo? Is that the guy's last name? I want to say like Felix Ojo or something
he's like
that.
a tackle, right?
Yeah, but he was the 5-star guy they just signed. I just saw yesterday he shut down his recruitment and was like, stop calling me. I'm done. I got the check.
Money too good.
By the way, later on in the show, we are going to talk about, college football stuff with Justin Zwick, quarterback battle. That's coming up at 8:30 in the quarterback room. But we are also going to talk a little earlier than that. There were some developments yesterday in the college football world that all the NIL stuff that we thought was turned off and don't do it and you can't just pay a guy to come there for $1 million. Well, it turns out you can. And the rules are back to being that. So we'll discuss that later on in the show. But first, Jimmy Haslam. He was talking yesterday on a podcast. I think it was just a Browns thing because it was in a studio. It looked very nice. But Jimmy Haslam was talking about the new Brook Park location for their stadium that they want to build out there, that they apparently are going to build in the coming years, the indoor facility / stadium. Here's Jimmy Haslam talking about why it's good for people in Columbus who are Browns fans.
It just made more sense to go to Brook Park, which, as Dee said, is 12 miles from downtown. It's right across from the airport. And I think you know this, but maybe a lot of our fans listening today don't know this. 2/3 of our fans that come to a game at our current Huntington Field come from outside Cuyahoga County, 2/3. So that's 67%. So I think they're all excited. Dee and I spend a lot of time down in Columbus, as you know, with our soccer team. And the people in Columbus are very excited because all of a sudden, depending on where you live, it's an hour and a half, hour 45, ingress, egress easy, parking easy, et cetera. And I'll just say coming to our current stadium, it's a challenge.
Okay.
He ain't lying about that.
Thank you for the math lesson as well. I didn't know how much 2/3 was. Appreciate that.
67%.
I love how he was like, it's 67%. I don't know. Teach that. I learned that yesterday. I'm Jimmy Haslam. I know about percentages when it comes to rebates now. Yeah. Tyvis, you don't have to answer that.
He ain't lying on that traffic situation, though.
It is. Here's the thing, though. And I know this isn't going to make sense to a lot of people, but hear me out. For years in Major League Soccer, there was this weird debate because the Crew had a stadium that was not quite downtown, right? Historic Crew Stadium is just outside of downtown. But for most people who live in the suburbs, you would consider the fairgrounds close enough to downtown, right? If you're going that far, you might as well go to downtown.
2 exits away?
Right. But one of the differences between that location and where they are now, where the old Crew Stadium was, like we talked about earlier with that UFL possible team coming here, there's a ton of parking. It's the fairgrounds. State Fair's opening up today. They obviously are built for parking. Mm-hmm. You're going to have a lot of parking available. When you go now to Lower.com Field, you're parking in a garage and you're walking and getting in and out of those garages when there is a Crew game going on, let alone if there's something else going on in the arena district. It can be a little bit of a headache getting in and out. Mm-hmm. I think Jimmy's right that, it'll probably be a little easier getting out of Brook Park. But one of the complaints I saw from some people is saying, going up to Cleveland, it costs so much to park there. Do you think with the Haslams controlling the parking and the Browns owning the parking, do you think they're going to offer you $10 parking in front of their stadium? I would be shocked if that's the actual plan. They're going to make money off of that too, folks. They're going to charge you a lot to park out at Brook Park. And that's a place that does not have. It has infrastructure for the airport, but it doesn't have infrastructure for 60,000 people showing up at one time every weekend or every other weekend. That's something that they will have to manage. Otherwise, it will also be a headache getting in and out of there. So just keep that in mind.
Well, what you just said as far as financially, it's like paying for it, is why I must keep this job with the Cleveland Browns for the next 4 seasons, so I can see the dome. I can see the dome and to get the experience.
You could go anyway. You won. You're Tyvis Powell.
That means nothing.
You're a legend in both Columbus and Cleveland.
It might get you shot.
Oh, but
it might get you shot.
I just decided I'm going to distance myself from you now. I don't actually know him. I've barely heard of him. I don't even know who he is. I deny you 3 times, like Peter in the garden. There's a reference. We saw the future of college football's playoff picture, and it isn't going to be great, I don't think. We'll discuss all the fallout from that with Tony Petitti's comments from the Big Ten Media Day. That's next. T-Bone and Tyvis on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Well, for folks over in Blendon Township in New Albany, we do want to let you know about a ramp closure happening tonight. 161, that westbound ramp over to 270 in that northbound direction will be closed tonight starting at 9 p.m. and lasting till 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So a good detour to keep in mind here. Take 161 westbound onto 270 southbound in that direction all the way down past Gahanna, past the airport too, unfortunately, to East Broad Street. That will be your best way to kind of loop back on to 270 and take that northbound direction instead. I'm 10 TV's Brina Albizu with your fan traffic.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The Dublin Irish Festival, August 1st through 3rd in Dublin, Ohio. Voted 2025 USA Today Best Cultural Festival in the nation. This year promises 3 incredible days of Irish music, dance, food, and fun. Get your tickets at DublinIrishFestival.org.
Newman Roofing is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat Fan Drive. Help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. Purchase new box fans and take them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station or buy online. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
July 23rd, 2000, a memorable date for Reds fans when Cincinnati took over Cooperstown for the day with 4 Reds honored by the National Baseball Hall of Fame. 3 Reds were inducted into the Hall of Fame, including Big Red Machine first baseman Tony Perez and his manager Sparky Anderson. Old-timer Bid McPhee, who played second base for the Reds in the 1880s and 1890s, was also inducted, and they were joined by broadcaster Marty Brenneman, who received the highest award for a play-by-play announcer, the Ford C. Frick Award. It was the biggest day ever for Reds Hall of Famers in Cooperstown, a quartet of honorees. This July 23rd, 2000, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Dropping just 25 pounds with Awaken 180 can actually give you 10 extra degrees of golf swing rotation. Now, I'm not Bryson, a mad scientist, but that sounds good. It's about a half a club longer, 6 to 10 extra yards every swing. But from personal experience, lose 75 pounds like me, and it's next level distance. Way better consistency, energy, and mood, especially on the back nine. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180 degree weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Save a good deal more with hot deals on Meyer brand must-haves, including new breakfast favorites all season long. Meyer brand syrup, pancake mix, and instant oatmeal are all just $1.79 each. Plus, students will enjoy the well-packed backpack good life with back-to-school supplies for $1 or less, including Meyer brand 24-count crayons, Meyer brand 70-sheet notebooks, and Crayola Classic Colors markers. Shopping for breakfast essentials and back-to-school supplies is a good deal better at Meyer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meyer app.
With Progressive customer service, there are lots of ways to connect with us, so you never have to miss a second of your favorite sport. Because you'd much rather watch a ball go through a net 124 times in 48 minutes when you don't really have to pay attention until the last 2, and then somehow those 2 minutes will take an hour. You don't want to miss all that. Luckily, you can chat with Progressive on our app, online, or over the phone without missing a single one of those times the ball goes through the middle circle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as, that's 888-665-0696.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning, I'm Dylan Gonzalez. Big Ten Media Days are underway in Las Vegas. Yesterday, we heard from Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti, Coach Ryan Day, and more. Here's Petitti addressing the letter he sent to the NCAA, advocating for no further punishment against Michigan.
I want to confirm that we did submit a letter. It's not uncommon in proceedings for a conference office to weigh in on. So I'm not going to address what the contents of the letter we sent are. And because it's an ongoing process, I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment.
And on the diamond, the Guardians' bat stayed hot with a 6-3 win over the Orioles. Jose Ramirez homered, and the Cleveland Guardians have now won 4 of their first 5 games since the All-Star break. The Reds, however, lost again in Washington, D.C., 6-1. They are now losers of 3 straight games. This update was sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Don't put off losing weight this summer. Reach your goal during the easiest season for weight loss. Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
2 men, 1 appendix. This is T-Bone and Tyvis.
We have a big day today on the show. We have got the quarterback room with Justin Zwick coming up at 7:30. We're going to talk to the former Buckeye quarterback about a quarterback battle. I've got audio from Ryan Day talking about this year's quarterback battle. The state fair is going on. Columbus could be getting a UFL team. There's that. Man. Our poll at Bone and Tyvis 971. What name should it be for the new UFL team if we get one? And I saw a couple people posting that the colors for the team should be teal, black, and maybe a little pink highlight on there. Go wild with that. I like that.
Teal, black.
Yeah.
Actually, that could be good.
That could be good. Let's go with that.
That ain't bad.
I like that.
That's not bad.
Also, shout out to the state fair that you mentioned. They have a butter sculpture of the Coldplay couple.
That's what
you said.
The part of it where they're like happy, or the part of it where they're panicking and realizing their lives just got ruined by Coldplay.
I think it's like the very first image when they pop up on the screen. Yes.
Yeah, the happy couple. But you know what? It's such a big day on the station. I almost forgot to mention the biggest thing of the day, which is happening today at